What is up YouTube, it's Sam the Chip Man here, bringing you another fish and chip shop review. This time we are in Bideford and we have visited Mr. Chips, as in the catchphrase mascot. Don't put that in please. Don't forget to like and subscribe for all the latest fish and chip content. Right, let's go and try this baby out. Alright, so we've just got our fish and chips from Mr. Chips. Thank you once again for providing the food, honestly great. I've ordered the regular cod and regular chips because, well, go big or go large. Well, I would have ordered a large portion otherwise. But in all respects, I didn't know they had a small cod until last minute. So that's also why I got a regular cod and chips. All right, let's get into it. All right, okay, so like I said, I've come back from Mr. Chips. I got myself a regular cod and chips because I only knew last minute they had a small cod. That was my mistake. Without further ado, let's get into it. So here's the packaging itself. It's a polystyrene box, and I like the fact it's got engraved on it a British classic fish and chips. Don't know if you can see that. Let's open up. That is not a regular piece of fish and chips, is it? It's more like a large portion. So as you can tell, it's quite flaky. So it is going to have a lot of batter to it. And as you can tell, the white softness of the fish, honestly, it tastes really, really good. Really flaky crust. It's not as crunchy, it's not as moist, and it's not as greasy. So it's like Goldilocks went and tried the last bit of porridge and it was just right. No word of a lie. As soon as you take a bite into it, you are taken by the sea. That's why we're here today. We're by the sea, as you can tell. So let's try the chips themselves. Now, they are a bit more larger than the last fish and chips we did. They've got the same thickness. There's not much crunch in the fish and chips. Well, the chips themselves, but in terms of taste, it's got fish and chip taste right there, fish and chip love, right there. And as I'm putting my very lovely fish and chip fork into the chips, it's like digging for lost treasure and finding that treasure. But however, saying that though, when I said there wasn't much crunch, there is crunch in that chip that I bit, so it's got quite a variety in there. So yeah, I could have got for a small cod, but like I said, I didn't know until last minute, so it's not the end of the world. All right guys, I'm gonna eat this by the sea and I'm gonna summarize when I get back. And for the summary, now like I said, I ordered a regular portion of fish and chips, which if it was one person it would come to £8.15. And in terms of eating and takeaway, it's both a restaurant and a takeaway. So if you do order there, please note it may get busy, but that's a good thing because it's popular. So honestly, like, I am very happy to come to this chippy today. But let's get into the ratings themselves. Let's go into the location and parking. As you can tell, we are in Bideford, where like it goes out to the sea, and that's the perfect place you want to be when you're having fish and chips. Parking, only issue is you have to pay for parking, but it's literally opposite the shop, so it won't take you that much time at all. So apart from the pay for parking, it's a really good location. And best of all is you can come out here and eat your fish and chips. So I would say location and parking 4 out of 5. All right, let's go to the overall appearance of the shop. Now, I looked inside the restaurant briefly and it looks really, really good. I'm not gonna lie. Next time I will have to eat in there. I'm sorry if I'm keeping my hat down. It is very windy today. In terms of inside the takeaway itself, it's very clean. It's very welcoming, and the signage itself is very small, so you will have to get up and close to see it, but you are able to see it with its bright lights and honestly, and its bright signage, its own unique signage, I might add. So I'm going to say 4 out of 5 in terms of appearance of the shop. Okay, so let's talk about the efficiency or the service. Now, when I ordered the fish and chips, it took a while, but that's because they were cooking it fresh, and honestly, they were happy to answer any questions I had. I did ask about the loyalty schemes and stuff like that, but I'll come to that in a few sections time. But very lovely smile. They did offer salt and vinegar, so I've got no complaints. So 5 out of 5 in terms of overall service. Okay, let's talk about the menu itself. I had a look at the menu and it was a very big menu. It had a variety of options. It even had vegan and vegetarian options. So they had a veggie burger and a vegan burger. So any vegans and vegetarians watching, keep note of that. But yes, they did have vegans and vegetarians, and the menu was like a lot. Like, for example, gravy, they had 2 portion sizes of gravy. They had a small and a large portion of gravy. That's how big that menu is. So I'm not going to delay it anymore. 5 out of 5 in terms of menu. Okay, let's talk about the loyalties, discounts and stuff like that. I'm going to make this quick. They don't have any. So for the first time on this channel, I'm going to give it a 0 out of 5. Okay, now let's talk about the price of the fish and chips. Now, bearing in mind it was a regular portion, and I said in the previous video that between £8 and £9 is sort of like average price, I would say. So it would say it's a very cheap but medium sort of like price range in terms of fish and chips. So in terms of price, bear in mind you saw like at the beginning of the video how big the portion itself was. I would say it's going to be a very solid 3.5 out of 5 in terms of price. Okay, now let's talk about the food itself. Let's talk about the packaging. Well, it sort of counts towards the fish and chips anyway. So the packaging itself, now it was polystyrene box, so it did keep my fish and chips warm, and as you saw at the beginning of the video, it had an engraved message on it saying like it's the Britain's fish and chips or something like that. Go back and rewatch it, you know exactly what it said. And in terms of practicality, it's very practical. We did get off a bag, so it was like 2 ways to keep the fish and chips from falling on the floor. And they didn't charge us for the bags, which is brilliant, especially in this day and age. Back the cost of living crisis and stuff like that. So in terms of packaging, I'm gonna give it a solid 4 out of 5. I'll say 4.5, but the thing is, it doesn't have its own brand on it. Otherwise, I would have given it a high score. So 4 out of 5 for packaging. Okay, guys. Now, like I was going to say, it's time to talk about the food, but I've kind of ruined that moment now. So let's go talk about the fish itself. Now, fish, bear in mind, it was regular fish. It was a fat fish. I'll tell you that. Honestly, I think it was pumped full of like something, I don't know, but it was a big fish, and it was very flaky batter as well, and it wasn't as crunchy as I thought it was going to be, but other than that, I would say it was good quality of fish. And when you break it apart and all the vapor comes out, and honestly it gets your mouth watering, which is exactly what you want from a very succulent fish such as cod. So in terms of fish, I'm gonna say at least a very, very decent 4.5 out of 5. Right, so chillblains, let's talk about the chips, shall we? I need to look that up, by the way. Let's talk about the chips themselves. Now, like I said, they were a bit longer in length in terms of chips. They had the same thickness as the previous fish and chip shop I did. There was, I'm not gonna lie, there was a few burnt bits of chips, but that didn't stop my appetite at all. So in terms of chips, really good quality, and they were very, very delicious. Not too moist either, so that was alright actually. So I'm gonna give that 4.5 out of 5 as well. Final part before we go into the total score of fish and chips, and basically very good fish, very good size for a regular portion, very good size for the chips as well. Honestly, again, thank you so much, Mr. Chips. I would say overall, since we've gone 4.5 on the fish, 4.5 on the chips, 4.5 overall, because again, very, excuse me, rewind, no, 4.5 out of 5 overall. Alright, so I'll be back in about 1 second. Well, while filming this, it's going to take me 5 minutes, but I'll be still, for we are going to figure out the total score of Mr. Chips. See you in a bit. After that summary, Mr. Chips, the king of chips themselves, have got a nice score of 35.5 out of 5. Lovely location. I mean, look at this. We are by the sea, and on top of that, very lovely food. Honestly, I can't thank Mr. Chips enough for giving us the lovely fish and chips by the sea experience. Speaking of which, I hope all of you have enjoyed. Again, thank you to my amazing friend Becky for doing all the editing on these videos. She's had a hard time, but I will link her, because she has got TikTok. I will link it down below when I've got her link. And again, thank you, Mr. Chips, for a lovely meal, and thank all of you lovely lot for watching. And if you have enjoyed it, like and subscribe, reel in and hit that subscribe button. Alright, I have been Sam the Chip Man. Alright, so please enjoy yourselves and remember to feast out.